than a clear lane to the rim any day of the week. Kevin, the marching order, pretty clear cut.
Thank you, Doris. Now here's Evans. Releases. Here's Davis, and the rejection by Monroe.
That's now 4 misses on their first 5 attempts. Still trying to find a rhythm and flow here offensively.
Sefolosha kicks to Carter Williams, and the shot is good.
How about the concentration? He gets hit but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact.
Now here's Evans. Here's Noah. Yes, and a nice assist from Evans.
Now that's an old school move right there. A good one, too, the fadeaway.
The Pelicans have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Pass to Sefolosha. Here's Cousins. Curry with the defensive effort.
He's not necessarily a strong inside presence, but he needs to polish those chances off.
Launches it, got a piece of it, and it goes out of bounds. And last touch by Carter Williams. No one near Curry as he lets it go. An absolute bomb from three-point range.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble. Fellas, I'll tell you, I was really surprised when Michael Carter Williams got traded last season. It's so hard to find point guards with his length and instincts. I mean, you just have to wonder what's going on in Philly.
Don't usually see him shooting the three. Carter Williams has got 6.
And how about that for a response?
Well, it sounded as though, or at least it looked as though it sounded like, we'll give you a 3, and then we'll take it right back.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
Curry with the steal, and now Curry running the floor all by himself. Plays it in off the breakaway. Curry's got his second basket.
That is up-tempo basketball at its best. So much easier to operate in the open court when a steal triggers the break.
And really, basketball is about rhythm, and that allows your offense to flow better. Now let's see if they can build on it and keep this lead.
On the subject of Michael Carter Williams, his assists went up last season. His rebounds went up last season as well. But, Greg, the one thing he can't seem to lock down is his shooting stroke.
Yeah, last season hitting just 38% from the field. You expect more out of him at this stage. But remember, this is a young player, and oftentimes your field goal percentage isn't necessarily a reflection of your ability to make shots, but more so your ability to take good ones. So shot selection, I think, plays a role for him as well.
Different look here for the Warriors. Samuel Dalembert, he's checked in for Noah. Young comes in for Davis. Tony Snell's checked in for Tony Allen. And Langston Galloway subbed in for Curry. Here's Calathes. Screened by Boozer. Got a piece of it. Off the pick. Offensive rebound. And Olynyk kicks to Aminu. And they had their chances. 2 offensive rebounds, but they still come up empty.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Yeah, the half and half balls are going their way, and that's really a function of effort and intensity. You know, the ball doesn't discriminate. Whoever goes and gets it, that's who owns it.
Guys back and forth this first half.
Well, 5 lead changes early on, guys, as we grapple back and forth.
And this could continue to go back and forth the entire way.
Galloway with the bucket.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
And watch, Clark, how the game plays out, because this is going to open things up on the perimeter.
Golden State's gone just 1 of 4 from three-point range here in the first. It's rebounded by Payton.
That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishes.
Aminu, the pass to Payton. Screened by Boozer. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The rebound by Young.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Here's Galloway. Pelicans pull it in. There's 21 seconds left to play in the first. Aminu with the bucket.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Here's Evans. From deep three-point range. And before the game, Star Center Joakim Noah talked about the intense.
I feel like we're the hungriest team in the.
You know, I think Joakim can certainly make a case for Clark for Chicago being that famished five, especially with Rose back on the court.
There's no doubting that, Kevin. I mean, even the addition of Gasol with his 2 rings, the way he left things in L.A., that left him with an appetite that has him still hustling.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And what stands out to you from the Pelicans in this one?
Just almost an intimidating factor when you're able to go out and consistently come up with the block shots like they have defensively.
So what happens is shooters begin to start looking for the shot blockers, and it does intimidate them.
We've got Tyreke Evans. Davis is out there with Noah. Then it's Curry. And it's Allen in at the shooting guard position. That's the group for the Golden State Warriors to start the second quarter. Early on last year, it was clear Steph Curry was just on another level. Was an MVP candidate right from the start of the season, and he would eventually be voted that award.
And I thought very deserving. You could see how he elevated his play, and so many of us and so much talk focuses on what he does offensively. But he was ahead of the snake of a terrific defensive group for Golden State a season ago, and that's one reason why he ended up being the MVP.
Cephalosha's shot is good. Now it's a 4-point Pelican lead.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Michael Carter-Williams checked in for Elfrid Payton. Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. On its way from Curry for 2, and again, no good by Golden State.
And with Curry winning his first NBA MVP award, he played the fewest minutes by an MVP in league history, mostly because his team was up by so much, he got to sit a number of fourth quarters.
There's the bucket, good.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play. Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, it seemed like he had great rhythm on that. You can see the disappointment in his face.
Cephalosha misses. Warriors trail by 6. Davis dishes to Curry. They need this, and that is good. Curry's got 8 points.
And with Curry and the MVP, there was some pressure with Hart. Relatively close voting, but Curry was the clear winner. Hard to argue with the season he had, leading his team to 67 wins last year.
Allen inside the 3-point line, and he hits the jump shot. And now just a 1-point Pelican lead. For New Orleans, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far. And first time out of the game called for New Orleans. Here matched up against the Golden State Warriors is how they're going to tip off the new season.
And they're facing the team that dismissed them from the postseason last year. So certainly a little payback in mind.
Greg, we know that's in the past, but you can't change that for sure. Nevertheless, a win would be sweet.
Young's checked in for Golden State.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Alvin Gentry had some words for his team over that last break. He told his guys that their offense needed to run through Monroe. Coach is calling on him to play a big role in the offense for the rest of this game, to really be one of the key guys for them down the stretch. So, Kevin, change is already being made on the fly here in the second quarter.
All right, Doris. Well, New Orleans is still a relatively young team, but they play with the maturity, I think, Clark, that's beyond their years.
You know, Kevin, the average age for them last year was just over 25 years old, and the youngest team in the West, actually, to make it to the playoffs last year.
Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Here's Curry with the 3. Pelicans pull it in. Cousins has got his 3rd rebound on the night. Here's Martin. And Allen with the block. Out of bounds, Pelicans ball as New Orleans keeps possession. Some changes for Golden State. Samuel Dalembert is checked in for Noah. Tony Snell comes in for Davis. And Langston Galloway subbed in for Curry. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Kelly Olynyk's checked in for Cousins. Boozer comes in for Monroe. Al-Farouq Aminu, he's checked in for Cephalosha. And it's Nick Calathes in for Martin.
And honestly, not real happy with the shot selection on that one.
Yeah, clearly a brain fade there. He's got to be a little smarter in his choice making. A great second quarter here after a difficult first. I'd say they knocked the rust off. Sometimes it takes a little while before you get the blood flowing and you find your rhythm.
And here is Carter Williams. 8 points for him. And Olynyk kicks to Carter Williams. And Samuel Dalembert picks up the foul. That's his first foul. New Orleans making a switch here. Payton's checked in. To the middle. Here's Boozer, and he dunks it down.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
Snell, the pass to Young. Back to Allen. Golden State moving it around. Young dishes to Dalembert. 5 to shoot. And there's the feed to Young. The shot no good. And New Orleans will go the other way with it.
You know, last season, Thaddeus Young was moved from Minnesota to Brooklyn, guys. A good move for everybody involved as he helped with the playoff push.
And he gets it to go.
You know, one aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
And that kind of flow can be elusive, but the great offenses have it, and that's just what they've shown here tonight.
Young last year, as you mentioned, GA, shipped to Brooklyn, provided good punch off the bench.
And Young is so efficient in his scoring that he's a great guy to play heavy minutes off the bench. Shot over 50% from the floor in his games with the Nets.
Pelicans leading by 3. Here's Calathes. Finished off the break.
No doubt that is within his range.
Well, I would hope so. He's a pro, and it was only a 1-footer. Come on now.
They have a 2-for-1 situation if they go quick.
Yeah, I don't think they have to rush, though, Greg. Just need to find a good shot this time.
Here's Boozer. Boozer missing again.
Even though he isn't having the best of game from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him. Boy, I tell you what, the complexion of this game would be completely different if he'd shot the ball